Okay, so during our first session, we have discussed about the uh, integration overview across S4HANA and EWM, and then we have seen the org structure uh, overview, just the overview, and the additional config which is required at the S4M. So today we'll discuss about the integration settings, few more integration settings which are left over from EWM as well as in S4, and then we'll move on to master data required for integrating S4 HANA and EWM. So let me go to my local desktop. And so since that we have built our S4 HANA intermediate warehouse and EWM warehouse, but we need to integrate the intermediate warehouse and the EWM warehouse. So I'm going to show you the setting where we need to uh, assign the intermediate warehouse number as well as EWM warehouse number. First, at the EWM side, we need to go to CM EWM, and under EWM node, I'll go to interfaces, and remember, I'll again show you our EWM warehouse, which we defined in the last class, which was WH18. So this was our warehouse, WH18 EWM warehouse, and I'll show you where we assign our intermediate warehouse and planned storage location combination. So that we'll assign in interfaces. In interfaces, I go to ERP integration, and under ERP integration, I'll go to map storage location from ERP to EWM. This was one setting which was already discussed in the last class. Here PL18 needs to be added. Someone might have deleted, so let me again create, because in the last class we have already created. But for now, I'll explain you the configuration. Here we need to give a plant, which is PL17, my storage location, AFS and ROD, because we have created two storage locations, and we need to give the logical system of the S4 HANA system, not the EWM. So this is the logical system S4 CLNT 400, and the EWM warehouse, which we defined in the last class, WH17, and this availability group 001 002. Okay, so what is availability group? Availability group is nothing but it is equivalent to the storage location which we defined in S4. So we actually map the storage location and availability group in this node, and further, to let system know that the stock is in storage location AFS or ROD. For that, we will assign this availability group in the storage type. So these two are the settings. I'll repeat. So first, we define our availability group in the other node, and that availability group is mapped to the plant and storage location configuration in this node. And after that, we will assign this availability group in the storage type. So whenever some stock is placed in that particular storage type, system will come here and check the availability group which is assigned to the storage location. For example, if I have placed in 002 availability group in EWM, system will show the stock in MMB in under AFS storage location, because the mapping is already done here in this node. So till here, do you have any confusion with the availability group?
And just what happens if you don't add that availability group in one storage type?
So good question. Good question actually. For example, if I have two storage types, one is storage type 1 and the other storage type is storage type 2. In storage type 1, my availability group is 002. And in storage type 2, my availability group is blank. So when I try to move the stock from storage type 1 to storage type 2, in that case, system will check the source availability group is available or not. So if I move the stock, system will actually move the stock, or it will come here and check. It will actually assign the or assume the same availability group, because in the source it is 001 and in destination it is blank. So the stock will be under 001 availability group itself. If in source storage type it is 001, in destination it is 002, then the availability group will change, and subsequently the storage location will also change in MMB. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so here we maintain the plant and storage location combination with the help of availability group with our EWM warehouse number. This is one setting, and the other setting is under general setting. So same, I am under SCM EWM. Under SCM EWM, I'll go to EWM node, and under EWM node, I'll go to ERP integration. And under ERP integration, I'll go to general settings, and under general settings, I'll open this node, assign warehouse number from logistic execution. Logistic execution meaning S4. So I'll open this, and here, as I explained earlier, I'll give my business system the warehouse number of ERP. This is the intermediate warehouse number. I'll go to my warehouse, which we defined, W18. So this is my intermediate warehouse number W18 and my EWM warehouse. So this business system is blank. This was actually discussed in the earlier class, why we need to mention this business system, but I'll again try to repeat this, because so there might be an instance where we have multiple warehouse with the same nomenclature of this warehouse intermediate warehouse number. So for example, if I have three intermediate warehouses created in three different countries, but two of the warehouses have created the same number. In that case, we'll identify that particular warehouse with the help of the business system of that particular SAP system. In that case, we'll differentiate and we assign that business system warehouse number of ERP and our EWM warehouse number. So at EWM end, setting is done, but we also need to tell the system at S4 end that it is connected to our EWM warehouse WH80. So for that, I'll close this SEM EWM node, and here I'll go to integration with other SAP components, and under integration with other SAP components, we have another node called extended warehouse management. Under here, I'll tell the system that my intermediate warehouse number is assigned to EWM warehouse WH18. So guys, is it clear?
Yes.
Sorry, I just have a question for when you were mapping like the storage locations from S4 to the EWM ones, you had a warehouse, like a different warehouse?
Yeah, because exactly, I showed the warehouse for WH17 because someone has deleted the WH18 entry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that is the reason. So guys, till here it is clear?
Yeah, for me it's clear.
Okay, let's move on. So the next topic, before we go with the master data creation, I would also like to introduce few more small topics, which is what is party entitled to dispose, what is custodian, and what is owner in EWM. So for that, before we discuss that, I'll show you where is this application of these three objects. Okay, so here under master data, I'll go to my warehouse WH18. Under here, after our integration, we actually create our supply chain unit. Supply chain unit, custodian, default party entered to dispose, and default ship to party. Okay. So what is supply chain unit? So this supply chain unit actually holds the address of the warehouse. So under define warehouse, we didn't have any option to maintain the address of the warehouse. So in that case, SAP has given a functionality like we'll create a supply chain unit, assign the address in the supply chain unit, and we also give certain parameters for that. And then we assign that supply chain unit to the warehouse number. In this way, we'll assign the address, or the warehouse number will have a address. So where the supply chain unit is defined. So this is defined in easy access. This is actually the master data. So the supply chain unit is created under logistics, SCM EWM, EWM. Under master data, we have the first node, SCMB SCU main. This is maintain supply chain unit. So here we maintain our supply chain unit. So I have already created the supply chain unit PL18 minus SCU, and I'll try to display it. Once I click on display, or while creating, first I'll give my title, my name, the supply chain unit name. I have given it as PL18 minus SCU, and the search term, it will be easy for me if I give my plant name. That is why I have given my plant name as PL18 in the search term. And then the address. If you want to give any address, you will give your address here, the street number, postal code, city, country, region. After giving these details, once you go to general tab, here all these longitude, latitude, precision, source, everything will be populated automatically based on your address. Here you can also see the username who has created and what is the date when it was created. And after this, you will also assign the attributes. Like before assigning this supply chain unit to the warehouse, you need to assign the attributes for that supply chain unit, what all attributes it holds. Since we are trying to build a EWM warehouse, it is mandatory to assign INV as the business attribute to the supply chain unit. And we are not only storing the stock in the warehouse, we are also receiving the stock from the vendor and supplying the stock to the customer. So that is the reason why we have assigned RO, which is goods receipt office, and SO, shipping office, to the supply chain unit. So once we assign the address and once we assign our attributes to the supply chain unit, now we are good to our warehouse. I'll go to the previous screen. Here I am in assignment of warehouse or business partner. Here for my warehouse, I'll assign my supply chain unit, and coming to our custodian and party entitled to dispose. What is custodian and party entitled to dispose? So I'll try to explain you in a very simple way, just to understand what is the meaning of these two terms in EWM. So here, what is custodian? So the third party warehouse who has the physical custody of the material, meaning the stock or the warehouse which has the custody, or the warehouse which holds the stock, is the custodian. For example, there are few third party warehouses, and these third party warehouses actually store the stocks of different plants. So in that case, we can identify who is the custodian of that particular stock in the monitor. So simple, the warehouse who holds the physical custody of the material is actually the custodian. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Next comes the owner. Owner is someone who is the legal owner of the stock. So it is quite what we call straight. Owner is nothing but the stock who actually is the owner of that particular, or the business partner who is actually the owner of that particular stock is called owner in EWM. Okay. For example, if we can take the consignment scenario, in that case, we actually store the stock of the vendor, and whenever if we want to try to consume that stock, we actually try to perform, or we make the posting changes, and then we try to consume. So in that case, that stock is actually in the warehouse premises, but actually the legal owner of that particular stock is not the plant, it is the uh, vendor. So in that case, we can differentiate who is the owner and who is the custodian. Next comes the party entitled to dispose. Party entitled to dispose is nothing but plant for which the stock is being procured. So basically, the party entitled to dispose is nothing but the plant in EWM. So in EWM, we are nowhere displaying or defining the plant, but that plant we are actually uh, addressing in the form of party entitled to dispose. Okay. So party I'll try to repeat again. PED, party entitled to dispose, is nothing but the plant in S4. Owner is the legal owner of the stock. Custodian is the third party warehouse or the warehouse who has the physical custody of the materials. Okay. So this is the thing. Here,
can you yes, can you go back quickly to the other screen, to the SQ main?
this one?
No, the other one that you were seeing, where do you create the supply chain unit? I saw that it says type 1008.
Yes, 1008.
Yeah, so it's always 1008, or what is the purpose of the rest of them?
Ideally, SAP suggests to use 1008, but we can also use 1001 as well.
Okay, but the idea will always 1008. So it's like,
yeah, 1000, because it is simple. It shows that the definition of 1008 is warehouse. So that is why we are creating the supply chain unit with the type 1008.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So after that, so under warehouse, we have assigned our supply chain unit, and we also assign our custodian, who is the custodian of that particular stock lying in this warehouse. So in our case, since we are trying to run a standard cycle, basically 99% or 99.99% the custodian will be the warehouse itself. So how we create these 1536? This 1536 is actually the business partner. Okay, so that is where I wanted to introduce the next topic called how we define our master data such as business partner. Okay, so I'll stop here for this custodian and party entitled dispose. I'll introduce the topic business partner, and then I'll come back here. So till here, till supply chain unit, I think you are clear, right? What is supply chain unit? What is custodian? What is party entitled dispose? And what is owner?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, sorry, I just have a question. Is the custodian and the party entitled to dispose always going to be the same?
yes.
Okay.
Because the plan is who is having the material, and it's also the one that is going to move it, right? So that could be the other meaning of that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So the next topic related to master data is what is business partner. So in earlier days, we used to have vendor and customer. For that, we used to have separate transaction code. For example, For vendor, we have like
Just a
there are two
question.
separate questions. Yeah, but after introducing S4 systems, so SAP has actually clubbed all these vendor, customer, and other business partners types into one, which is business partner, and then there we assign our roles actually. So simple. The transaction code for business partner is BP. Under BP, for now, I need to create my party entitled dispose. This party entitled dispose is nothing but the plant vendor. Okay. So plant vendor meaning I need to create the business partner with the attribute called plant or the vendor. Okay. So for that particular business partner, I will have to assign the plant. Someone was telling something. Yeah, Vamshi.
Sorry, I think there was some question about custodian and default party entitled. Basically, custodian can be a 3PL, right?
Right.
Okay, the default entitled can be like, whoever has the, because I've seen situations where the warehouse is managed by the 3PL, but they use the client system.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Is it like the right kind of way to look at it in a way?
So exactly, like in 3PL system only, we'll change this custodian and default party entities. But in case where I am only producing my stock and I am the owner of that stock,
Yeah,
and
then it's both the same. Then it is both the
yes,
same.
then it is same. If
That
it
is
is
the reason why you
3PL
have
case,
to
exactly.
Rogelio, this is the reason, you get it right. Custodian means 3PL can manage your DC, not your resources, not company's resources. So the pickers put away all that, it will be 3PL guys. So they'll charge per transaction, they'll charge like 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever that is, okay? So that custodian is a 3PL managing your warehouse. You got it?
Yes, but now I have another doubt that if we put it in that way that it's a 3PL, the 3PL will be managing our system.
Yeah, custodian can be a 3PL managing your warehouse.
Yeah, because otherwise, if we have a 3PL that is going to manage our system, maybe they have their own stock. They don't have access to this, or they can manage using another system. But yeah,
No,
I get
there are many variations. There are many variations in 3PL. I've seen 3PLs that manage the physical warehouse, but they use client system. I've seen 3PLs manage physical warehouse, they use 3PL system. So there is a lot of different flavors out there. So that's why you need that split of custodian and default party, okay? Just keep that in mind. Because of that. Otherwise, generally, like if it's on your own warehouse, your own warehouse operators, everything your own, it's usually the same. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Rohit.
Yeah. So this default party entitled dispose is actually the plan, which I have mentioned earlier. But this plan, we need to define it as a plant as vendor in the form of BP. So in that case, I'll go to business partner transaction, which is BP. Here I'm going to create. One second. I'll show you the already created business partner. One, 5, 3, 4. Okay, so sorry guys. So now, like since I've already defined my business partner, party entitled dispose is nothing but the plant as vendor. So in that case, we need to define a vendor and assign a plant to it. So after that, it forms as a plant as vendor, and then we need to assign this business partner to the warehouse. So this is already defined. This is my business partner, and for this, while creating this by default, it will come by all zeros, and then here we need to give all the addresses, the country, the time zone, the region, and language is also important. English. These are all the mandatory fields. And once we click on save and then click on edit, we'll also have to add FLVN01. This is the standard BP role for the vendor. So if I select FLVN01 as vendor, here also the details are all copied under address section. And then this is the important setting where we assign our client to our business partner. Here we are telling that my party entitled dispose is actually the plant PL18. Once I click on vendor general data, here I'm actually assigning my plant PL18. This is important. This assignment is important. Here we are actually defining plant as a vendor, plant and vendor with the BP role vendor. Okay. So these are the important settings. And the next one under purchasing view, I'll give my purchase organization, which I have defined or shown in the previous class. Here I need to give my purchasing organization 0001 here, and then the order currency, payment terms. You can give all the mandatory fields that the system is asking, and then you can go ahead and save it. Okay. So
if
here
I have several purchase organizations, I need to maintain it here, right?
I didn't get you. Can you come again?
If we have several purchase organizations, we need to maintain every of them.
If you have for one warehouse or for one plant, you'll have to, or for one warehouse, you'll have to create one business partner.
Yeah. But the purchase organization, if we buy for using 5 purchase organization, we need to maintain all of them
here. Here you need to maintain.
Okay.
In edit mode, you need to create it and then maintain it for every purchase organization.
Okay.
Okay. So here we are actually, let me again mention that we are assigning our plant to the business partner with the PP role as FLVN01. So once we create our business partner 1534, copy that business partner number and you need to assign over here. This is important. Assignment is done. Okay. After this, so we have maintained the integration settings at S4HANA and also at EWM, and we have also defined the plant as vendor in the business partner and assigned to the warehouse. Now the integration setup is almost done. Now the next thing is we'll also have to create our plant and vendor using the same transaction code. So there also you'll go to BP transaction, and after that you click on organization. Under organization, you select your grouping. This grouping actually, business partner grouping actually takes care of your mandatory fields and your number range when you create your business partners like vendors, customers, and other business partner roles. So select 0001 in the system because it is working fine. Okay, give all the mandatory fields, and after creating your business partner, for example, if you are trying to create a customer.
I think team has a hard time understanding why do you need a business partner to link to the warehouse.
So we have, yes. So we have party entitled dispose. Party entitled dispose is actually a business partner with the assignment of plant, because party entitled dispose itself is called plant as vendor. As I mentioned in the PPT here, plant for which the stock is procured. Procured meaning plant is procuring the stock from its vendor. So that is the reason why we are defining our business partner with the role vendor and then assigning plant to that business partner.
But we are connecting the warehouse configuration, the normal. So the link is that we create the warehouse and we link the normal warehouse to EWM warehouse,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So here is the thing. If you have multiple plants, or if you are storing multiple stock of plants in one warehouse, how will you differentiate? So in that case, party entirely disposed will actually try to differentiate which stock is under which plant. You got me?
But I thought the availability group will be able to differentiate that, no?
No. Party entirely disposed is altogether a plant, equivalent to plant in EWM. And for example, if you are trying to store the stock of multiple plants into one warehouse, and if you want to differentiate which plant it belongs, then party entirely dispose is necessary, and the business partner mapping is necessary.
Is that a practical application? Because we always like the plant to one warehouse is the normal case that I've noticed.
Exactly. But there are few cases and few possibilities, like you can also store stock of multiple plants into one warehouse. That is also possible.
Okay.
And the one which you mentioned about the availability group is equivalent to the storage location, not the plant.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So no, I understand. So this is like, that's why people have a hard time wrapping their head around this, because
right,
a lot of times when we implement, the warehouse is part of the manufacturing plant, or you have like an assembly plant, and you'll have like the fabrication plant, let's say, or some manufacturing plant and assembly plant. Yes. But in both cases, people define two separate warehouses because that's what the old WM kind of able to do. I mean, that's kind of, but you're saying like, if somebody has two physical locations, one area, one site A, they do manufacturing, site B, they do packing, right?
Right.
We define as two separate plants, let's say, but both can be routed to the single warehouse. Whenever they manufacture something, you put in the warehouse. From that warehouse, they can
the
other side, basically. Got it. Thank you.
So if you wanted to create one plant, one warehouse, then you can create two warehouses based on your plant and storage location combination, and then you can perform goods issue and goods receipt across those warehouses. Or you can club into one warehouse with different plants. Even that is possible, but the best practice is to create different individual warehouses. It will be easy for us to tracking, and we have also the document numbers.
So you're saying that if you purchase a raw material and put it somewhere, that can be one warehouse, and then we can do the assembly of the WIP inventory, and we can put into a different warehouse. That's also feasible under the same.
Yes.
We can, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but we can do like this relation, we have in one place S4, in other EWM, in S4 we have the store location, in EWM we have availability groups, and S4 we have the plan, and in EWM we have the party entitled to dispose, right?
Yes. So we can also differentiate with the help of storage location as well. That is also possible. It will reduce the what we call extra effort to create the deliveries and all. With the help of storage location also, you can storage location is mapped to your availability group. Availability group is mapped to your storage types. And if you have different individual storage types, then you can move the stock from one storage type to other storage type. In the same time, in the background, the availability group also will change, and the storage location placement in MMB will also change. Even that is a possibility. So based on your business needs, you can design your warehouse. But the possibility is, it is possible to assign different plant stocks into one warehouse. It is possible in EWM. So in that possibility, if you want to differentiate, then party entirely dispose is important.
Yeah, and the access sequence is, you're saying you can do party entirely dispose, and warehouse and availability group is the access sequence if you want to do it by storage location.
Right.
Okay. right, let's not go into all that, but yeah, let's just keep that in mind. I think a lot of times we got like people get confused because they don't understand the concept behind this. But I think Rohit, you're clear, right? Maria, you're clear, right? That's the concept basically. Why we need two BPs, that you can have two separate plants and one singular warehouse, and we can map it that way, so we can, you know, so to optimize, you know, we can optimize the logistics process basically. Yeah.
So clear, guys. So next we'll try to discuss about another master data, which is material master. Okay. So here I'll show you what all mandatory data we need to fill in material master. Okay. So in order to create the material in S4, we'll go to MM01. You're already aware of. So here we'll have to select. I'm just selecting the mandatory fields for our cycle, like in display. Basic data 1, sales or 1, sales or 2, sales, general data, purchasing, MRP, general plant data, and accounting. So here you'll give your plant PL18, storage location as ROD. Okay, so here we give your base unit of measure as each. This is material group is mandatory, so you can select a 0, 1. This is actually the setting, but you can select the standard one, which is 0, 1. And earlier, while defining our org structure in S4, we have defined our division, so we can assign that division here, and after that give the dimensions like gross weight, net weight, and the weight kg. And after that, in sales, nothing more, nothing much. This division is already copied from your general data. And in sales general plant, basic unit of measure, it is already copied. Availability check, since we are not dealing with any availability check, and I've just kept as no check. Transportation group and loading group, this is actually used to determine your shipping point and receiving point. So so I have given it as blank, or you can use the standard 0001 and maintain your combination accordingly in your shipping point determination. So for now I have given it as blank. This is actually purchasing view. So whenever you are trying to create your purchase order, system will try to fetch the details. Or purchasing view is important when you are trying to create your purchase order. So base unit of measure is already copied, and purchasing group is actually the mandatory field. Material group is already copied from the general data. Okay. MRP1. MRP type is not necessary, so that is why I have given ND, no planning. Next is plan data. Under plan data, I have given very basic settings. Expiration date, B, this has come by default. SLED has come by default. I haven't changed any settings. In accounting, we'll actually give the currency. So the price of that particular material we mentioned there, it is actually a FI setting. So I have just given it as 10. Over here, base unit, the valuation class was given as 7920. This is some error. Material ledger currencies were changed. Somebody has proved some settings. So that is where we are not able to see this view. But otherwise, we need to give the valuation class as 7920. Okay. And once this is done, you can save and your material is created. And so in case of, so here now our material master is ready. We have created our material master. In case of decentralized EWM, we used to sift the stock from ECC to EWM, or there are some BTs. This is actually some ABAP methodology where we where we distribute or sift the materials from S4 system, or sorry, from ECC system to our EWM system in case of SEM EWM in older days. Now, after SAP has introduced S4HANA and EWM is embedded in S4HANA, since EWM is already into S4, EWM will make use of the same data or same material master, and it is not necessary. Sifting is not necessary in case of S4 EWM. That is what I wanted to tell you, because EWM is already lying on S4 system, and EWM will make use of the data which is already created in the material master. But if you want to maintain all the EWM specific parameters under in your product master, in that case you will have to create product master in EWM system. I'll again repeat, if you don't want to, there are two things. In ECC, we call it as material. In EWM, we call it as product. If you don't want to make use of any EWM parameters, or if you don't want to assign any EWM specific parameters for your material, then it is fine even if you don't sift, okay? But if you want to assign all the EWM related parameters like slotting or the storage type data, in that case, you will have to create the product master manually in EWM. Once you give your material master, click on create, system will show you all the details. Okay, so now I'll show you the product master. So the product master T code is SCWM MAT1. Here product number is actually the material number. In ECC we call it as material, in EWM we call it as product. That's it. Okay, so here I'll give my material number, which is MAT01, my warehouse, my party entitled to dispose should actually, okay, so this party entitled to dispose 1534, it is coming by default because we have assigned our party entitled to dispose 1534 to our warehouse number WH18. That is how system is pulling this party entitled to dispose automatically. Here we can see the error called warehouse data not maintained for product. As I mentioned, if you want to assign any EWM specific parameters, or if you want to make any other EWM specific settings for the product master, then you will have to manually create the product in EWM. So in that case, you will come to SCWM MAT1 transaction, give your product number, give your warehouse number, party entitled to dispose will be automatically determined based on your settings which you have done previously. After that, click on create. After clicking on create, as I mentioned, the details which were given in the material master will be automatically shown in this transaction SCWM MAT1. For example, our material group, who has created and at what time, the gross weight, everything is copied and this is grayed out. Since S4 is still the centralized system, so all the material master changes will be done in MM02 only, and those changes will be immediately replicated in product master. Okay, that is the thing. You cannot change any material master values in product or SCWM MAT1 transaction. That is what I wanted to show. All these tabs are grayed out, which are related to material master, but these tabs, the last three tabs, warehouse data, slotting, and storage type data. So once you create the product master, these three tabs will be created automatically, and you can fill all the EWM related parameters here. Based on your business process, you can define all the data over here. Your strategies, your put away strategies, your stock removal strategies, your settings related to quality inspection, and the general data. What warehouse process type should be determined. Everything is taken care in warehouse data view for your product. Next one is slotting related data. Here you feed all the slotting related data, which we'll discuss in our further classes. Next one is storage type specific data. Okay, so here also you give your storage type in the like this material should have individual settings based on your storage type data. Okay, so in that case, in storage type data view, you give your each storage type and maintain all the settings, and you can maintain how many number of you want the number of settings for each individual storage type. You can create one and adopt it. So in that case, this product will behave accordingly given the settings for each storage type. So clear, guys? So once you maintain your material master in ECC system or S4 system, you can see all these details here. And additionally, in SCWM MAT1 transaction, system will actually create 3 more tabs, which are warehouse data, slotting, and storage type data.
Can you put in the warehouse data tab? So scroll down, please. So we have in here put away and stock removal. Which is the difference between add information in here and using the one that is in the storage data tab?
Okay.
It looks similar, but I don't know if it's the same.
So here, actually, if I go to my warehouse data, this actually takes care of the strategies for put away control, which storage section it should go, and what is the storage bin it should be put away. Here, this is different. Here, this is actually used for the replenishment.
Okay.
Okay. So this is for replenishment. This is for put away.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So this is about our material master and product master. So in case, like, for example, you might ask, if my warehouse holds or has some thousands of materials, and I cannot go to SCWM MAT1 and create each product by giving all these data and all. So in that case, SAP has given one more functionality to create all your product master in one go by giving your material number. So for that, you will have to go to SCWM monitor /o/SCWM/mon. So I'll introduce about this warehouse monitor in the further classes, but now let's focus only on how to create the product master for multiple products at one go. So for that, we'll go to product master data folder. Here we have warehouse attributes. Double click on warehouse attributes. Give your material number. Click on. Here you have additional options. Okay. So here, which data you wanted to display? You wanted to display only the products with the warehouse data. Warehouse data meaning this one. Warehouse data, slotting, and storage data. These are all warehouse dependent data. Okay. Here we have option to choose or display the products only with the warehouse data, only products without warehouse data, or all products. For now, I'll select all products. What happened? Let me show you all the materials in this warehouse. Why it is not showing? Let me save and come back. Okay. So as I said, somebody has deleted my BP and the supply chain unit. Maybe due to that, I'm unable to see the stock here. But there, once we get the products, and then you can create mass change or create. Once you get all these entries, you can select those lines and then click on mass change or create. Once you click on create, system will automatically create the warehouse views for all the materials which you have given in the selection criteria. So guys, so what I'll do in the next class is I'll try to clean up all the inconsistencies so that it will be easy for us to explain. So just before 1 or 2 hours, maybe this setting was done or the deletion was done. Somebody has screwed up. But what I'll do in the next class is I'll try to build my own warehouse, WH19 or WH20, and then we can continue without any issues like these. So again, I'll show you under product master data, under warehouse attributes, give your product number, which is your material number, select your additional options, which is with warehouse data, without warehouse data, or all products. Okay. So here you can select without warehouse data because you are trying to create the warehouse data for the first time. Select the second option, click on execute, and then select the products and then click on this more methods button and then click on mass change or create. So that is how you create your product master in mass. Instead of going to SAP EWM mat1, you can directly go to monitor and then you can create the warehouse data in mass. So guys, still here, do you have any questions?
No, just that it's nice to have that tool, but no, yes. For now I'm okay.
Okay. So I don't think my delivery processing will work because there is some integration issue, but what we'll do is I'll show you the delivery mapping. Okay, so whenever you try to create your deliveries, okay, in S4 system, EWM system should actually, in EWM system, you should actually configure for which delivery type in S4 EWM system should create a delivery. So in that case, we'll have to map the document types of S4 to the document types of EWM. Okay, for that, here we need to go to interfaces under EWM node, under interfaces, ERP integration. Under ERP integration, we'll have to go to delivery processing. Okay, so here you go to document type from ERP system to EWM. So here again, we have the business system of S4, the document type, which is with which the document is getting created in S4. What is code initiator? This we'll discuss later. And what is the document type? It should be which document type it should be created if the document type in S4 is DIG. Here the mapping is done. So if you have created any Z document type, then you will definitely have to add the document type over here. Otherwise, your delivery creation queue will stuck in SMQ2. So this mapping important. So for every document type in standard SAP EWM setting, it is already mapped. But if you are trying to create any Z document type in EWM or S4, then you'll have to map your delivery type in this node. Okay. So similar to document type, we will also need to map the item type from ERP to EWM. Here, similar to document type, we have this business system of S4. What is the document type and what is the item type, and then what is the item type with which it should be created in EWM. Okay, so I'll show you how the document type and item type looks in EWM. I'll try to open one delivery in WH18. So if I open this or select one document. So here we have this document type INB. And what is the item type? If I open in form view, I have this item type IDLV. Okay, so this mapping is done here in this setting. Okay, for example, if I want to check this mapping, whether it is there or not, I'll go to selection by content, item type, document type, click on OK. What is my document type? INB. INB. And IDLV is my item type. So here mapping is already there. My EWM document type is INB, EWM item type is IDL. So here, if we create the document with DIG, EL, JSWI, or EL, with these combinations, mapping is already there. That is why we are able to create the inbound delivery in EWM. Clear, guys? So with this combination, EWM will create the document with this combination. So this is ERP combination. This is EWM combination. As I mentioned, if you create any Z document type, then this mapping is necessary. Otherwise, if you are using the standard document type and item type, you'll just need to double check if the mapping is there or not. Otherwise, it is not necessary to map. Clear, guys?
Yep.
Okay. Team, can you take a 5 minutes break and come back? I'll be back on. So we have covered integration, master data, and we are slowly moving with the EWM config related to EWM. So in earlier class, we have already shown you how to define our warehouse number and the methods how to define our warehouse number. Okay, so after we define our warehouse number, once you copy it from your standard warehouse, system will also copy all the warehouse number control as well. Okay, so here if I go to my warehouse and click on details, here we actually see all the default values such as weight, volume, what is the currency, what is the time unit, what is the unit of length, what is the factory calendar. So these are all the warehouse level default values. Okay, so based on the region, if it is US based, maybe you use pounds and the currency is USD. This currency is again dependent on your company code, what currency your company code or plant is using. So based on that, you'll have to define your currency here. So weight, volume, time unit length, your factory calendar, and this exception wave replenishment, the settings related to WPT, we'll see in the further classes. When we discuss about WPT, then you will understand what these settings are. But apart from that, for now, we don't have anything to discuss apart from this one, the default warehouse number controls. Okay. So after this, we have number ranges. So if you have copied the number ranges from the source warehouse while copying, it will also copy all the number ranges as well. Otherwise, you need to define the number ranges for each node. Okay, so these are all the number ranges. In S4 or ECC, you have the number range objects in SNRO transaction, but whereas in EWM, we have all the possible number ranges required for each object in one node itself. If you want to create the number range individually, you'll have to double click on the first node and you can click on copy. Here you can give from which source warehouse you need to copy your number range. So I have already copied it from the source warehouse. Like if I want to copy from 1000, you need to give your warehouse, which is WH18, and then click on copy. So in the similar way, you will have to define your number range for rest of the objects. You need to give your source, you need to give your warehouse number here, and then click on copy. In this way, you will have to define all the number ranges, and then this is important. You need to assign your number range intervals to your warehouse number. Then only your number ranges will work. Okay, so here, if my warehouse is WH18, you need to assign the number ranges for example. This is for assignment for warehouse task. For warehouse task, number range is 01, and similarly for other objects. Number range for stock posting documents. So all those number ranges which you have created earlier in the previous node, you will have to assign those number ranges again in this node. Otherwise, your warehouse or the documents won't be created if your number range assignment is not done in this node. Okay. So after that, I'll show you the org structure. What is the org structure in EWM? So this is the org structure. Okay. So the highest org structure is plant or the company code. Under company code, I have my plant, for example, 2020. And under plant, I have defined two storage locations, ROD and AFS. And the plant and storage location combination, I have defined my intermediate warehouse, which I have shown you earlier. So till here, this is your ECC or S4 settings. These settings are done in ECC or S4. These all settings are done in EWM. Okay. So after I create my intermediate warehouse and assign the planned storage location combination, I'll go to my EWM, and in EWM, I'll create my EWM warehouse, like what we call, let me draw. Why it is not coming? See, my intermediate warehouse is ready. After I create my intermediate warehouse in S4, I'll create my EWM warehouse in EWM system. And for my EWM system, as I mentioned, I'll assign my supply chain unit, I'll assign my party entitled to dispose, and I'll assign my custodian. Okay. After this assignment is done, I'll create my storage types. So after warehouse, the next org structure is, or the org element is storage type. Under warehouse, you define your storage type. Okay. So under storage type, you define your storage sections. So under each storage type, you can define 1, 2, how many ever storage locations you storage sections. Under storage sections, you have your storage bins. This is the smallest unit, smallest org unit. I'll come again. Under company code, you define your plant. Under plant, you define your storage location, which I've already seen. This plant storage location combination is assigned to your warehouse in ECC, which is your intermediate warehouse. And in EWM, you define your EWM warehouse. Under EWM warehouse, you will assign your supply chain unit, party entitled to dispose, custodian. And under EWM warehouse, you create your storage types, whether it is high rack or your goods receipt, your goods issue, your production supply area. All these are created with storage types. And the storage types are further segregated into storage sections. Okay. And under storage section, you create your storage bin. And one more thing, storage type creation is mandatory, but storage section is not mandatory. You can either create your storage type and directly create your storage bin, or you can create your storage type, further segregate it to storage section, and then create your storage bin. Storage section is not mandatory.
So it's only needed if, in case that we need to segregate the storage type. So otherwise we can go directly to the storage bin, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And at the bottom at right, it says activity area. That's another physical subdivision, or what's that?
It is a logical subdivision. We'll discuss in the further classes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
Yes. So till here, guys, do you have any questions? We have done with the integration master data, and we are slowly moving to the org structure.
No, not for now. No.
Okay, so that's it for today. If you don't have any questions, then we can wind up. Is not mandatory.
Okay.
Not mandatory. Have you guys worked on WM? Any one of you?
I have not.
Okay. So one more important point is, I'll not discuss about WM, but in EWM, the storage bin is unique under warehouse. We cannot create the storage bin 001 or with duplicate entries. It should be unique. In WM, under storage type, if I create 001 as storage bin, I was also able to create 001 under another storage type. But in EWM, your storage bin should be unique. System won't allow you to create the same storage bin under different storage type or other storage type. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. So when